right. Hey everyone, welcome to Cocktails and Coding. Um, let's see. All right, so I'm hearing myself twice. So let me. Close that down. All right, I gotta get a better system here to both check things, hey Fredo, and do all this at the same time because, man, not only can I hear myself twice through my headphones, but I can also totally tell that the fan going on in this room to keep myself to not boil from the heat is loud. So I need to figure that one out too. Anyways, what are we doing today? So I'm having a coffee drink. You can have a cocktail. Last night I was having a Negroni. Negroni is a wonderful cocktail. It's very easy to make. It has gin and Campari and dry vermouth, equal parts. You can shake it, you can stir it, you can put it on ice and put your finger in it and just stir your finger around a little bit until it's done enough. And let's do some coding. So, yesterday we left off at this point where I can press play here and...
I can't learn this skill. I can't learn this spell. This will come in handy.
Oh, finally. I love adventures. Let's hurry it up.
You can do all that.
This will come in handy.
So that's good. We got some great audio going, and it's easy to set this up. And if you watched the stream yesterday, it's very easy to get voices from Replica Studio and then name the convention them as such, or in some cases, put some emotion into it and multiple versions, and then click that one button and the autofill, and it will autofill everything and magically be here. You can of course do this manually. You can drag new ones into these sections and add them there, delete them, and whatnot. But this way you can easily have a bunch of sounds that can be called with a single line pretty logically. You can use this in multiple ways. This is of course just a series of classes here. We've got the voice class, which leads into the lines, which leads into the emotions. Technically, there's really no reason that you can't add a line object onto, say, a door or a chest, and maybe use emotions as poison or open or close, and you could use this system to organize sound effects as well. It's intended for voices, but there's lots of options, different ways of using it. So there's a couple of things I want to do. One thing is I wanted to change the file name if we change the name up here. And that's important because if I change Soreen to Soreen 2, then all of a sudden when I do the autofill, it's going to add another Soreen. And we can see that here. And do the autofill, and then there should be now another Soreen. And we don't want another Soreen, so I'm going to delete Soreen 2. And now we still have Soreen, which is nice. So to do that, it's easy enough to change files. I think the trickier part will be on the lines. I guess I just have to strip out any punctuation and spaces. So that should be easy enough, I suppose. And emotions. And then also, I guess, handling multiple versions, so like Lighthearted 2. That should be easy enough. So let's try that. Let's start with that. Might mess up a little bit, but might not. Maybe it'll just happen and work magically. So let's see. We're gonna do create new emotion. Oops. Create new. Is that not here? This is here. Voices editor. That's right. And hopefully this is. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. Hopefully that's big enough for you all. If it isn't, just let me know in the chat. So this is where we create, as it's display new voice. Where do we show the voices? Show voices, show emotions, display emotions. That's what we show. So this is all of them right here and right here. All right. So if this changes, we want to update the files. So we're going to start with a string temp name equals script.emotion names I, and what's going on here? All right, I can use var, I guess. Okay, and then if temp name does not, or how about this? We'll just call this try to change file names, and we are going to need the script dot, or we'll do temp name script dot emotion names I, and I think that's it. So let's see. We'll create that method. And first thing we're going to do, if these names are the same, we're going to do nothing. So if temp name equals script emotion name, then return. But if they don't match, that means that we're changing from temp name to new name. And we'll call this old name. All right, so now we're going to go through all the files and change the third section to yeah, so this should be easy enough. I think we're going to go, okay. So what I'm thinking right now is it's easy enough to change the string. You know, change if the old name is sad, the new name is unhappy. It's easy enough to change that in a string, but I want to ensure that, you know, if the old name is sad, and there's a character name, a voice name, or maybe a line that says I am sad, I don't want to change the word sad in I am sad to unhappy. That wouldn't be right. I only want to change it. So I'm going to have to be a little more clever than just changing the string. I'll try not to make a mistake. How about this? I'll make mistakes and you can tell me when I do, and that means you've learned something, right? Because the easiest way to learn something is to teach it. That's what I've been told. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to go through, I guess, all the files. So the same code that gets us all the voices. Autofill contents. This is the way to go. Okay, so let me just copy this for now, and we will modify it. So interesting. I do update emotion names here. Interesting. I do a slightly different method. It's okay though. No big deal. Where was I? Now I've lost it. Alright, here we go. Alright. Paste that in. Alright, so we are finding all the audio clips in our autofill directory. And that's actually not going to work. And that's not going to work because the user, you, may drag in a audio clip that's not part of this. So we can't do it like this. But what we can do is, we'll do this. How about this? All right, so a list string GUIDs to files equals new list string. All right, so we'll start with that. We can remove this. And now we need to populate this. So what we're going to do is just going to go through all the assigned stuff. So for each voice in script.voices, and for each line in voice.voice, voice.lines, and then we need to do the default ones. So for each audio clip, clip in line.audio clip, we're going to do stuff there. And then for each emotion in line.emotions. And finally, for each audio clip, clip in emotion.audio clip. So we're going to do the adds here and here. We're going to add to the list. I shouldn't have deleted that line earlier. I want it back. Okay. I want this line, I think. Find assets. No, that's not what I want. Actually, this could be just game object and audio clips, and we'll just do audio clips.add clip, and we'll do the same down here, audio clip. So it's not game object, it's audio clips. Duh. All right. And I don't need that. All right, so now we've got a list of all of our audio clips. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller right there. And then what are we going to do with those clips? We are going to say for each audio clip, clip in audio clips. Let's see. So this is going to be on emotion. So I think I need an int for which section it's going to be in. And so this is going to be int name part. We'll just segment, I guess. Name segment or just segment. So we're updating segment 3. Not segment 1 or 2, because the emotion's always segment 3. So for each one, we're going to say, we can do this, name segments equals clip.name split by the separator, okay, which is underscores, and if name segments dot count length is less than segment, then continue. So what we're doing here, now I'll type this out since it's a little, just to type it out. Split the name into the array name segments, and then, come back up. And then here, make sure we have enough segments, or don't do this clip at all. Skip it. So essentially, if we're passing segment 3, we need the name to be segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. If it doesn't have a third segment, then it is not something we are going to work with. So we'll just continue there. And we're also going to check to see if the name is this part. If the name in the third segment is a number. If it is, then we want to ignore it as well, because that means it's not an emotion, it's just a number. Although, how about this? Instead, what we'll do is make sure that we're not passing in a number at all. So if the new name is a number, then we're going to say warning or error. Error. What's going on? You can't change a name segment into a number. All right. Am I getting an error here? Test int. We'll call it test int. All right. So this first section, check to make sure the new name isn't just a number. It needs to be a string. And if it is not, then if it's a number, then we're going to return, and we're going to give an error so that people can see that it's an error, that we can't do that. And then if the names don't match, return. And I'm actually going to put this higher because this is going to be checked a lot more. So we'll put that first. All right. And then we will make a list audio clip with all the clips assigned through the voices module. And this is going to add the clips, add a clip, and as if that's not obvious, but just in case, work on each clip if the clip can be worked on. All right, so we're splitting the names. Make sure we have the right segments. We know it's not an integer, so that's great. And now we need to make sure that the segment we're changing is not an integer either. So I'm going to make a new method here called private void is this is int string test and bool. So test int test. So we're testing, and if it is, then return true, otherwise return false. That way I can say, instead of all this, I can just say is int new name. Is int new name. It's a little easier. And we'll do that here as well. So change this to is int. And change it here. Okay. All right, that's good. So now make sure the name we are, or the string rather, string we are replacing is not a number. This reminds me, I should probably add the same check when people are importing a clip to give a heads up that, hey, we can't import things if the name parts, the segments are numbers, except for the last one. And my coffee drink's gone. All right, so the string we're replacing is, so if is int name segments segments segment, right? I think segment, yeah. So if it's an int, then we will continue. No need to do a warning or anything because it's expected that some of these might be ints. So it's not an issue really, it's just we're skipping it. All right, so those are the reasons to skip something, and if we haven't skipped it, then we can go ahead and change the name. So we need to rebuild the name. So new name, our new name equals actually, first things first is name segment equals new name. So that's going to do the actual change. Why is that underlined? How is this not declared? Oh, that's why. Full name name equals actually, okay. For each string name part in name segments, we're going to do now, how about this? Do it like this. For int I equals 0, oops, I is less than name segments dot length I plus plus. And what we'll do is if I is greater than 0, then we will say first one, let's do string full name equals blank, and then full name equals full name plus underscore. Okay, and then full name equals full name plus name segments I. So that should rebuild the name with the new name here. Rebuild the full name with the new name replacing the selected segment. And that should give us the full name. Now we just need to overwrite the file name. So let's go trusty old Google, Unity 3D, overwrite file name. Rename asset. That's what we're looking for. I like that it's purple because it shows I've been looking this up before. I just forget. Rename asset. And so we need the path to the asset and the name. So let's just copy. It probably could be why I forget all the time. All right, rename the file. So clip. So we're passing the clip. All right, so what was it? Oops. Clip. How come we can't pass clip in? Audio clip is not assignable to parameter string. But GUI ID asset path gives us a GUI ID. Wait a minute. All right, so I think I need to go back to asset database, get path. Get asset path. That's what I'm looking for, probably. Path equals get asset path for clip. Rename path. New name is full name. That should do the trick. And I don't need any of this. Did that do the trick? Let's find out. Any errors? All right, so what we should see is I'm going to change lighthearted, and these should all change. We'll just say it's light. And it's a delayed text, so it shouldn't change until I lose focus. Index, okay. Now, did it change here? It did change here, so we did change it. Lighthearted. Let me change it back and figure out where this error is. All right, let's do some debugs. Debug.log. Working on clip.net. Debug.log. There are name segments.length, name segments. We are working on segment. All right. Let's see what that spits out. Ooh. Working on clip. Okay, working on soaring fierce. There are 3 name segments. We are working on 3, and this is out of bounds. Because we need to do 3 minus segment minus 1. So that's a bug here, because 0 is the first segment. So 2, there are 2, we are working on 2. So if the length is less than or equal to the segment, then we continue. Okay. Let's see this time. All right, it worked. So we have all those changed to light. This one didn't work. This one didn't work. So that's an issue. Interesting. I wonder, did it duplicate files?
I am impatient. Let's go.
That's fierce. What happened? Why am I in play mode still? That's weird. Let's see what happened. Fierce, somehow all those that were fierce are now light. So let's manually change this and then try to troubleshoot it. Okay. I don't remember, could go back in the video I guess, I don't remember when it changed. I wasn't paying attention, I guess. Alright. So, fierce, we'll just call this test. Interesting, it's changing more than just the ones. Okay. So, this is supposed to be lighthearted too.
Drat. I can't learn this skill.
Okay, so let's fix this first and then figure out where it's going wrong. So this is, let's see. Okay, this should be easy enough to fix. So I changed fierce and it changed lighthearted _2. Oh, I need to check to make sure that, wait. Yeah, I need to make sure this matches the old name. Continue if the segment name does not match old name. So if does not equal old name, then continue. Okay, because in this case, like, lighthearted doesn't match fierce, so it shouldn't update fierce. Let's see if that works. Go to demo, look at our files, change fierce to test. There we go. Okay, so it only changed those ones and change it back. All right. So that worked there. Let's try to change this. Now this is going to take a little extra additions to our script. So first we need to add this to the new line part. Display lines. So the string temp name equals script dot line names I, and one line names I. All right, so the other thing is we want to make sure there's no spaces. I swear there was a bit of code that the lovely Jason Story provided for this that I need to remember spaces. There's some bit of code to remove spaces from a string. Unity 3 string remove spaces. Trim. That's right. Trim, trim, trim. Trim. Ah, okay. I mean, okay, I should just be able to do string replace. That's a thing, I believe. Nope, not this one, this one. Okay, so we're going to do new name equals new name dot replace space with nothing, and we're going to do this check again just to make sure. In fact, let me do the this part first. Replace or remove all spaces in the name, in the new name. And then we need to replace any non-alphanumeric characters. 3D string remove non-alpha numeric characters. Okay. Interesting. Let's see if this works. Okay, I'm going to remove my other debug logs that I had previously. And let's see, I'm also going to return here. Yeah, I just want to check this. So I add the return so that nothing actually happens, just in case this goes cray-cray and breaks everything. I don't want to have to manually fix things. So I just add in the return there. And this is going crazy. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so I should add this up here. Because I only want this to run if show the debug if. Okay, so I'm going to add in a space. Okay, perfect. It keeps running because the space is there. And then I'm going to add in a quote. Not just a quote. And all right, so it's definitely removing the non. Okay, so that's working, but as I'm doing this, I realize that that should probably live this somewhere else. So I'm going to try to do two things. I'm going to do private string stripped string and string string to strip and we're going to do a return string to strip this. So all of this can be new name. And I'm actually thinking this should live up here instead. Oops. Come on. Why can't I click on this? Ah, whoa, what just happened? Okay, display lines. No, I won't do it there. I'll do it down here. All right, that's fine. All right. And let's then see if this works. All right, so I'm going to copy that and test. All right, those are all updated, and the other ones should be updated too. Yeah, but if I change it back to can't learn the skill, it gets changed back. What if I change it to 23? Error, you can't. Good. What if I change it to gibberish with numbers and characters and more gibberish? Didn't do anything. Okay. Interesting, that's a bug. Okay. So I need to make sure that the final string is not empty. So let me just fix that real quick here. Okay. So the final string should not be empty. If new name is length greater than 0 is equals to 0, return. So that's just saying make sure the new name isn't empty. So I guess we could do if new name dot or if string is null or white space new name, and we'll return. Okay. Strip away any spaces and non-alpha numeric characters. Actually, I don't know if it's doing spaces, so I'm going to continue to do this. Strip spaces. Okay. Now let's test that bug again. Make sure it's been squashed. So I did that by doing 3 ats. Interesting. It changed it. It shouldn't change it. Oh. And that's another bug. Because, not Discord, because oops, up here, I try to change the file names. I also then update the emotion names. So what I need to do is say yeah, I'll true. If this, then that. And let me do it here. Oops. If we can change the file name, then we will also update that. All right. And now we're going to make this a Boolean. And when we return, these are going to be returning false. And then return true. Being we were able to update everything, so if as long as we don't return false up here, then we'll return true, and then we'll change the name. So that didn't seem to work, or did it? Can't learn this skill. All right, it didn't update things, but it did update this. So that's working there. Yeah, it updated it here, and I don't want that to happen. That's an easy enough fix. Where'd it go? Else, that's going to be equal to temp name. Basically, if we can update it, do that. Otherwise, make sure the name is the temp name. Change it back, essentially. All right. And let's do the display voices. Do the same thing here. Our temp name equals voice dot voice and this is going to be segment 0. New name is voice voice. That should work. Let's check that bug that we fixed first. Good, that works. And voices. Let's try this out. Oh, shoot. Do we need to change these as well? We do. Because it's one thing to change, and we'll do a test on Ava. Jimbo. All right, so that's great. Changed to Jimbo. Can't change it into a number. Can't change it into that. We can change it to random stuff and all that. We gotta make sure this goes back to remove the spaces. So that's a bug. And that's exactly why it's a bug. So let's fix that first. Okay, so it's a bug because we don't want to save it up here with the spaces. So what I'll do is this part where I strip the spaces. I'm going to do that up here instead. So I'm going to do delayed text dot replace with that. So this is basically going to, when the delayed text gets entered, it's going to immediately remove the spaces before it does anything else. Yeah. So display emotions and display lines. Display lines. Wait, we did on display lines. Display voice. Oh, there we go. Delayed text. All right. Let's try that to see if that fixed this bug. So if I do ava space last name, all right, good. It removed the spaces. All right, so now we need to change this folder name too, because if you are using the autofill, then that's really what dictates the name, I think. So actually, let's test it. Ava 2, and then autofill. Yeah, so we got an error, in fact. I don't even know why we got an error. Why did we get an error? What happens if we delete ava2? And then, interesting. We didn't find an emotion named fierce. You should have. It's right here. Oh. These are incorrect. They're supposed to be all of these. Okay. I think that was from all the bugs I had fixed, so I'm going to delete everything here. Oh, all right, we're going to start from scratch. Delete the voices demo. Okay. Create modules, voices demo, and clear that. This is our directory, autofill contents. So it's gain ava2 as the voice. So I guess it doesn't need to change. It's not going to throw an error in that the voices is ava2, and if I change the name just to ava, then it's fine. But it would be nice if these matched. I guess it doesn't have to. Yeah, because technically you might not separate these. These could all be one folder. Yeah, so I guess we don't need to change the folder. Two fierces. So I'm just going to play with this and make sure I can't break it. Because we had that issue before. Oh, look at that. Line names are still not correct. Why is that the case? Okay. So they are correct now. and now they're not. We have a bug. Whoa, okay. Okay, so the bug happens, think when we just go to emotions. Yeah. So by loading these emotions, we are changing things. Why is that the case? Display emotions. Okay, display lines. Do I have any of the wrong things here? Temp name equals line names, line names, line names, line names, line names, line names, temp name. Lines. Okay. Display emotions, and we'll do the same thing here. Oops. Temp name emotions or emotion. Ah, right here. There we go. Emotion names. That was the bug, and display voice. And let's make sure it's not here as well. No, we did change it here. And for good measure, voice, temp name voice. Not needed, but we could do that. And so let's fix this and then go to voices, do the autofill again. Okay, now we go to emotions. There we go. And fierce 2, lighthearted 2, wise 2. She's the only one who has those, and set properly. Good, good, good. Copy this, we'll type in gibberish. Gibberish indeed. But it didn't strip out that code. So we do need to change. Earlier I played with the idea of changing the strip string right here. So what I think I'm going to do is add this up here as well, string to strip, and then we will remove it from here entirely and try to change file names. So remove this and strip string delayed text. Okay. That should do the trick. Let's see. So now technically it will strip all the spaces out. Okay. And it will strip all the weird characters out. And it did. All right, good. So that's better. That's cleaner too. I like it. Keeping it up here is now, one line, which is great. And when we go to try change file name, we have 2 less lines of stuff there. Moving all of our stripping string code into one area. So that's good. Okay. So that works. That's exciting. That was the first thing I wanted to do, right? What else did I want to do? So I'm going to bring in a new character portrait. So here is artbreeder.com. This is how I create character portraits. I spent probably thousands of hours making these, which is kind of crazy. Login. No email with that, was it? Incorrect password. Ah, there's that password. All right, so I'm going to make a character portrait. And so we're going to create portraits. Now I happen to have, oh, it's changed a little bit. To compose, I have my own uploaded things and created things. So I'm going to use, whoa, I have some weird stuff. I've created way too many of these. Jeez. Create and starred. Okay, we'll use this one and this one, and we'll create a new one. What does our whoa. What's going on? Is this just being slow? I think it's just being slow. Okay. Let's see. It used to be faster. This is very slow. Let's go back to create. Create portraits. Try this method. Okay, so these are things I've uploaded in order to make tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of. That's not it. Buildings, that's interesting. Huh. Crossbreed. This is what I'm looking for. Create and starred. Okay. So I'm trying to match this style on different faces. It is slow. It used to be faster, but this is what I did for a long time to make all those portraits, and it took a while. And reset, select an image. We'll do this dude, that style, this face. One of the biggest criticisms I have of this, see it's getting her lipstick, is that the skin tone is part of the style, as is apparently the makeup. So this guy is going to have makeup, lipstick. All right, that's good enough. So if we take someone with dark skin tone, man. Okay, dark skin tone. The style is going to strip away the dark skin tone, or at least a big chunk of it. Yeah. Bring it back a little bit by taking the style back a little bit, but it's not super easy. All right, let's make one more dude. This dude. Doesn't look like a dude anymore. To me. Let's see. Let's just see what's trending. That dude, that dude. I need a dude who is dude, very masculine. Man, I swear, I'll try this one. You start seeing like the lineage of these images, if that makes sense. And sometimes you go and you look at the actual lineage and it's like, oh wait, no, that's not. Let's bring the style back. Okay. Save these. Image downloads. Okay. We will move these into demo portraits. Female 1, female 2, male 1, male 2. Okay. So now we've got these portraits in here. I'm gonna move this canvas over, or move this panel over. Demo 1 or demo 2. And and then create a new panel. For this one, I'm going to lock it to the right. This one will lock it to the left. Demo 1, and for this one, create images. And demo portraits, we'll make these into sprite, apply, male 1 and male 1. Make this bigger. Oops. It's probably too big. Yeah. I guess we can do it the automatic way. Grid, vertical layout group, and 200 by 200. All right, that should be good. Okay. Let's see. So demo controller, demo control. So we're gonna do demo for voices, public. List voices demo player. There's new list voices demo player, and serializable. Now we need to create this. So voice, public. Yep. All right, so we have because we deleted our voices. Okay, but why isn't this showing up? I don't know. Public list, players, probably because this is not system serializable. That is my guess. Ah, that was it. All right, so we got 4 players, and each one is going to have a voice. and at start, randomize voices. Private void randomize voices. So at start, we're going to go for each voices demo player in players. Player.voice equals voices or voices dot get random voice. We'll do that, and we will create a method called get random voice here, and move it up. Will return a random voice. That's it, just a random voice. So if voices count equals 0, then we're going to return default, but also debug.log error. There were no voices to return. Otherwise, we're going to return voices random Unity engine random range 0 to voices count. Yep. All right, so we'll get a random voice. And let's just test that. Sure enough, they got random voices. They're duplicates, but that's okay. Next step is to add name underneath them. Name. Male one name. Make that bigger. Center it. Female 2 name. Male 2 name. Turn on some fan in here. It's hot. Okay, and what's the spacing on this one? We're going to just kind of boilerplate some of this stuff. We need header plumbing, header voice. So we need public text, name text. And then public setup. Void set up. Name text equals voice dot voice. All right, those should change now. Oh, I didn't call setup, did I? That would be helpful. For each voices demo player, player in players, player.setup. There we go. And now we want to be able to change their voices. So we're going to add this to the player as well. Player.voices equals voices. And then we're going to have public void next voice. And public int voice index. And this one we're going to hide in the inspector. Player.voice index equals voices.get voice index from player.voice. Voice. Okay. Next voice is going to be, it's going to say next next index equals voice index plus plus, and if voice index is greater than or equal to voices dot count, then next index equals 0, and then voice equals voices dot get voice by next index, or what we'll rather do is voice index equals next index, and then get the voice index. Okay. And for each one of these, create a button. And this button is going to be called next voice, and the text is just going to be called an arrow. And we are going to make this button tall. Make the whole button tall, not the text portion. And skinny. And move it over. Not the text, the whole button. And the text, how big can we make it? I'll make that. And on click, we'll do male name. Nope. Oh. We can pass one variable, can't we? Public void next voice int player index. Player index dot get dot next voice. Okay. Next voice 0. Okay. Paste those values for the rect transform, and for each of these, change the index here. Okay, and then after we change the voice, we're just going to call setup again to update the text there. Let's see if this works. This doesn't appear to be working. Let's see. Doesn't appear to be working. Why not? Next voice for player index. Restart it. All right, so that's working, but it's not updating. Okay. Next voice. Next index equals voice index plus 1. Try that. It should be voice index greater than that. The next index equals 0. Voice index equals next index. Currently voice index log. Next is next index. Let's try that. It would be better to make a prefab, but I'm just kind of doing it. There we go. So that's working. Whoa. Not working. Oh. Next index. Yeah, it would be faster. I don't know. It's better to make a prefab. I don't know if it's faster. I mean, it might be, but since there we go. There we go. Since I'm just trying to quickly do it, I'm just not making the prefab. Kind of playing it by ear as well. And then the only thing I want to do now is going to be play public void speak and string line And then we're going to call voice dot well, and you're going to need audio listener. And we need to populate that. Can I populate that in? How did these work? I've forgotten my own demo already. It's been less than 24 hours. Demo 2. These work. See, these are a prefab. These work. The play button demo. Audio source. When do I assign the audio source? Oh, I do have audio source. I was searching for this. Ah, I just have it saved up here. Well. Player.audio source. Oh, it's audio source, not audio listener. Duh, that's why. And that's going to be private. So, audio source. I'm just going to copy this. Play one shot. And voice.get audio clip and line. Okay. What happened? Okay, so now what's going on? Oh, can't be private, it's gotta be public. But I'm also gonna hide this in the inspector. And I'm gonna hide this in the inspector too. Okay. I mean, I guess now would be better as a prefab. Let's see. All right, I'll make it a prefab. Maritox G. Let's see. Demo voices. Portrait. And I'm going to call this just portrait, I guess. Name. Okay. What else do I have to set up? I have to set up this. Yes. I could move the player onto the portraits themselves rather than the demo controller. How you set that up is really going to depend on your game if you're doing anything similar to this. But what I really wanted now was the buttons. So, panel, and we'll move this panel over here. And it's going to be line buttons, and each UI button, line button, and this is going to be quite wide. I'm going to make it. Right, we have line buttons already. Play button right here. So delete that, and grid layout group. Okay. Yeah, I guess I could put this on. I'll just do it on the controller. Just do it on the controller. Public panel, I guess game object. Line buttons. Delete that. Alright, and then for this setup, for each voice line in voice.line voices.line names string. For each one, we're going to I don't really want to do it like that. Might as well. Might as well. Instantiate new line game object new line button equals instantiate line prefab where at the line buttons dot transform instantiate why can't I instantiate? There's not a mono behavior. Probably. That's fine. Good. That's better. Set up player buttons. For each, yeah, we'll just do this again. Oh, we're already doing that. So let's just pass in player. Then for each, okay, for each string line in voices dot line names game object new button equals instantiate play button demo. No, did I save? Button prefab on player dot line buttons or line panel, call it line panel. Okay. And let's just make sure we sign these. And then new button dot get component text dot text dot text dot text missing these equals line. And button, what happens when I click a button? Play button demo. Public demo 1. Oops. Bool demo 1 equals false. So if demo 1, then I'm going to do something else and return. Otherwise, we'll just play as part of demo 2. Because I don't want to use a different prefab. New button dot get component play button demo dot new or demo 1 equals true. And on this we also need public player, what did I call it? Voices demo player. And we're going to say player.speak line. Best practice to cache that, even if we're only doing it for 2 things. Player equals player. All right. Let's see if that works. Oh, forgot one thing. Also, line equals line. We're saying the text, but we also want to set the actual line on the script itself. See if it works. Nope. What's happening here? So let me look at the prefab. Play button. Oh, I see. How do I set it up? Get components and children. That's how I did it before. There we go. Perfect.
Maybe someday, but I cannot learn this skill today.
I can't learn this skill.
I can't learn this skill.
I can't learn this skill.
Good choice. We will win the day.
Alright, so these are changed in the wrong one.
This will come in handy. This will come in handy. Oh, finally.
Good
I
choice.
love adventures. Let's
We
have
will
it
win
up.
the
I
day.
just need to figure out why that button's doing what it's doing. Next voice is, oh yeah, I just need to change these.
Oh, finally. I love adventures. Let's hurry it up.
Ready when you are.
There we go.
Let's crush some goblin skulls. And other skulls too.
Good choice. We will win
Let
the
us
day.
start our journey.
Good. Let's get on with it.
There we go.
Thank you. I feel better.
Thank you. I feel better. So there's just 2 different ways of, working with it. In the end, calling it is as simple as audio source, play one shot. So get a clip with the line. So have the voice assigned, and you do that just by having a voice assigned. Right here, voice equals get voice by the index or by the name of the character, however you want to do that. And then, you're going to call the audio source however you're handling your audio, but for this, we're just doing play one shot and just get audio clip line. This is going to return an audio clip. This is not going to actually play the audio clip, Now I guess I could add, maybe I'll do that right now, an alternative where you can pass in the audio source and play it. Let's see. So what we can do is, let's see, public play clip, audio source, and then string line, and do all this stuff. And essentially it's the same as this, but we're gonna call, oops, just doing this, audio source play one shot, get audio clip, line, oops, emotion name, and index. So an alternative version now would be to call alt version. So we'll return the alt version is going to be called voice dot play clip audio source and line. So I'm going to bring this one up and we'll test the alt version and move this down here.
Let's crush some goblin skulls. And
Good.
other skulls too.
Let's get on with it.
Yep. So, I mean, you know, there's, I don't know, do I need more ways of playing it? But this is pretty easy. Voice play clip, pass in the audio source and the line you want to play. And you're all set. Now, I guess it would be appropriate to add by the index as well. So this is random, but if I like the line index, do I need to do that? I don't. Got get lines by the index. I can write the comments. How about this? Pass in an audio source and the line, optionally emotion name and index if there are more than one clip of the same kind, and this will play it through the audio source. This will return, or just say returns an audio clip based on the line name and optional emotion name and index if there are multiple clips of the same type. Index defaults to random. That should be important to state. Okay. Returns a line object by the line name you provide, and returns a line object based on the index provided. Okay. Yeah, so that's essentially it. Returns the audio clip at this index. If index is -1, we'll return a random clip. This will return a random clip from one of the emotions if any are available. This will return true if the audio clip you provide is in this list already. Yeah. Debug.log, what am I doing? Returns the emotion object by the name provided. And returns the emotion object by the index provided. Okay. And on emotions, turns the audio clip by the index provided. If index equals -1, we'll return a random clip. Returns true if the list contains the provided lookup clip. So those are that. I think I commented these already. Adds adds the current emotions to the line provided. New line. Okay. Adds a new line to all the voices. These are plumbing really for everything. Adds the new emotion to all the voices, the lines on all the voices. All right. Used in the editor scripts. I need a summary for those. So gets, adds, and hases. Okay, list of all the voice objects. String list of all the line names each voice has. String list of all the emotion names each line has. Get audio clip. Returns the audio clip provided, providing based on the variables you provide. Emotion name and index are optional. If index is -1, a random the selected clip will be provided or returned. Okay. All right, so before, I think this is good. I think commented all that. Voices editor. Don't need to comment on everything here, I don't think. So player speak line and speak is just that. So I mean, in your project, essentially, player.speak line is how you call it. All right, I think this is good. So the next step now is for me to export this and add it to my own game, dog food it, make sure that it actually works as expected in my project, and then I will be able to show that as part of the whole demo video, make a demo video, package it up for the asset store, and get it out to all of you fine individuals. Do you want to test it? Or you want to get an early version? I think this one might actually be free, so it's not like you're getting something that's paid, but let's see. Let me do I need this? I don't think I need the editor. Oh yeah, I do, I guess. Let me move all of these to the temp. I don't know why I have this. That's why I have what there. I'm like, Okay, voices. I need a new file, new readme. Voices, readme. Let me modify this. The voices module adds a system designed to make it easier to populate common lines of audio clips that may come from multiple voices, as in NPCs, your characters, etc. Creatively could be used for non-voices too. Scripting examples, tutorial. This will just bring you to here, but really I should change it to, like, do I have a modules? Game modules.
I'm one of the 30 AI voices from Speechelo, and I'm powered.
Where is the full playlist? I don't know how I use this. Playlists, modules, view full playlist. This. Okay. So I should probably just change it to this. If you have any questions, Discord. Excellent. And while I'm at it, change all of these. Oh, this one was already in. So is this one? Okay. So some of them had the right thing already, but not all of them. Okay, that one's special. Okay. Got the demo, got the editor script, got the scripts, scriptable object. To create a new one, just go to create, game modules, create voices, and that'll create a new one. The voices you add, perhaps from Replica Studios, need to be naming convention, voice, line, and then optionally emotion. All right, export package. Voices. Voices module. Let's see. Here we are. Only 3 watching now. Well, grab the package. HTTP legacy infinitypbr.com/that. Is it finished uploading? It is. I'll remove it eventually, but for now, have fun. Thanks for watching. So yeah, I'm gonna probably make this one free on the asset store because it's a small package. It's not like a huge pack, right? I think it will come in handy, and I think Replica Studios might give me a code. I'm hoping they give me a code so that I can share a code with you all. That would be really neat. And then, yeah. So that's it for this stream. Now only 2 watching. I shared something and somebody left right afterwards. Oh well. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been fun. I've got more work to do, but I'm going to take a little break and then do a little bit more tonight off of the stream. So once again, thanks for participating, and I'll see you next time.